Thank you very much, fellow Africans, and welcome to today's episode of the Change for African campaign. Fellow Africans, it's on Thursday, and it's all about the fourth pillar of the Change for African campaign. Imagine speaking about living standards affecting the people of Africa. Living standards, it is a very dire issue when it comes to the majority of the African population. And so, fellow Africans, I will be continuing with our usual walkthrough of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Remember, today living standards, our fourth pillar of the Change for African campaign, and so I focus on pillar and number on. I'll be using SDG number 1. It's all about no poverty, because the goal is aimed at totally eradicating poverty among the global citizens. But in this context, we discuss Africa because we are Africans and Africa is our business. And so, therefore, fellow Africans, I'll be very fast, and some of the things we want to highlight is that it is estimated that 34.8% of the sub-Saharan population live in extreme poverty. That is a very dire situation, because speaking about poverty, what defines poverty, or what defines people living in extreme poverty? Number one, what we define this is are our people able to access very basic, commodities, basic things. We have access to quality education. We have access to healthcare services, access to maybe even quality, being able to move from one place to another. That is also in terms of our infrastructure and food also, and even clean water. The pillar we discussed, what we discussed yesterday about clean water and proper sanitation in Africa, one of the UNSDG goals. So these are things that are very serious about Africa, and you need to be very, very categorical and very serious about how we handle these issues, because this is in the African context, because we discuss Africa because we are Africans and Africa is our business, and we have the obligatory concern to discuss Africa. And so I was also going, because when it comes to measuring the level of poverty, what they do, we measure according to the global indexes that are people living below $1.90 per day. That is when, if somebody lives below that, then these are people who are living in extreme poverty, and that is the truth of the matter in most of the African countries as we speak today. And so, as I was going through all this, I also got that we have some ways in which there's no very clear way. Maybe people are saying that there's no clear way on how we are going to eradicate poverty in Africa, but it is being said, or some of the things that have been proposed to be handled very critically to be able to eradicate the situation of poverty is that number one, we have three things. We have education, infrastructure, and the impact investing. These are the three things we're speaking about, because speaking about education, what they do is make sure that the majority of the population are equipped with necessary skills that are required for them to be able to be in a particular area and even do things on their own, even skills that can be enable these people to actually be skill that can enable African people to be able to be critical thinkers, in terms of they can create something from their own minds and make it big, and even make it an employment opportunities for other people. So that is the very thing we are saying. The basic thing we are saying, that education, people of the African population should be equipped with necessary skills to enable them to be able to do 1, 2, 3 and be able to just have some quality living standards. And then number two, about infrastructure, because remember, infrastructure will enable people. When I say infrastructure, we are speaking about things like we have accessible roads in one way or the other. We need some quality infrastructure and services, because once we have good infrastructure in one way or the other, then it means some services we need to have the quality infrastructure to be able to access some services. So we need good infrastructure that can be able to make us get those services, and then services will make us to earn an income that will be able to eradicate poverty, is one of the very hitting issues, very core issues that are hitting Africa in terms of Africa's development. And then number three, impact investment. What is this? This is about that looking at this. It's very hard to people to be able to define what poverty is and how they can be able to eradicate poverty, maybe in a very in a spontaneous manner or a radical way. Then we need to have what you call impact investment. What is impact investment? Impact investment, it comes with that since the African countries, they are able to make sure that when it comes to investment, just as it sounds, impact investment, that let the investment be impactful with very radical positive impact, that let us invest in sectors that can hugely or radically give us results, positive results. Which are some of the sectors? Some of the sectors have gotten over the agricultural sector. Agricultural sector, when you invest in this sector, that is what you call impact investment. Remember, number one, this is about food, meaning automatically when you invest in agriculture, you have started to cater for the food of the people of your nation, for the food of the people of your continent. So agriculture is one of the sectors, and we have so many sectors, basic systems and services needed to be able to eradicate poverty. So these are the three proposed ways in which we can eradicate poverty: infrastructure, impact investment, and education to our people, so that they can get the requisite skills to enable them to be able to carry out different operations. And then what we say about infrastructure is that over 80% of the African infrastructural projects actually do not go to completion. Many key African infrastructural projects have stagnated. They have not been able to be even finished. So that is also an issue, because now it makes it a very difficult situation, whereby since these are infrastructures that were needed to be able to help people to do 1, 2, 3 or different things. So once they stagnate, then they continue to make us lag behind as a continent of Africa, because Africa is a continent of great potential, but the state of living standards of our people in Africa are still very low. We need to wake up and do something for the people of Africa. Let us make sure we do impact investment. Thank you. Have an interesting afternoon, and let's meet tomorrow as we discuss about our 5th Wheel of the Change for African campaign. It's all about the climate change that refers as an African continent. Thank you. Let's meet then.